Some days the garden asks you to slow down. This wasn't the day I had planned. I thought I'd be out here watering, pulling weeds, checking on everything that's been growing, but instead the long-awaited rain showed up first. At first I almost felt disappointed. Then I started looking a little closer. Every leaf was covered in tiny water drops that looked like glass beads, catching what little light slipped through the clouds. It's funny how rain can make an ordinary garden look like a green goddess wearing her jewelry. So instead of working, I just wandered. There's something about sitting inside the greenhouse while the rain taps against the roof. It feels like the whole world gets quieter for a little while. Nothing is asking to be rushed. Nothing needs to be finished today. Sometimes the garden reminds me that growing happens whether I'm busy or not. And then a little surprise. The first chanterelles of the season. They're easy to miss if you're always looking ahead, but if you slow down enough and watch where you're going, the forest has a way of rewarding you. By evening the rain was still falling. My cat, Mr. Tuxedo, and I watched the garden disappear into the blue light of dusk. Everything softened. The colors, the sounds, even time seemed to move differently. It felt like the kind of evening that asks for absolutely nothing. The next morning couldn't have been more different. The sun was back, the birds had plenty to say, and the whole garden seemed to stretch after its long drink. This is my favorite part after a summer rain. Everything looks a little greener, a little brighter, a little more alive. The potatoes are growing fast now. The pumpkin bed seems to get bigger every time I walk past it. I was a little worried about my zucchinis because they started producing mostly female flowers. You can tell a female flower by the tiny zucchini already growing behind the blossom. Male flowers, on the other hand, grow on long, thin stems. If a female flower isn't properly pollinated, it may look like you're about to get a zucchini, but then it suddenly starts to rot. It happens from time to time, so there's no need to worry. You can simply cut those off and let the plant focus its energy on new fruit. There are also some parthenocarpic F1 hybrid varieties that can produce fruit without pollination. They're especially useful during cool or rainy weather when pollinators are less active, or if you're growing your plants inside a greenhouse or a polytunnel. This year I'm growing Black Beauty and an Italian variety whose name I'm not even going to try and pronounce. The strawberries, well, they rarely make it back to the house. They're just too good to leave behind. And today I picked my very first sugar snap pea of the season. It's one of those tiny moments that somehow feels much bigger than it should. Sweet, fresh. A little reminder that waiting is part of gardening, and sometimes the reward is as simple as one perfect bite. July always feels generous. The flowers are in full bloom. The bees are busy. Everything hums with life. It's easy to think a garden is something we grow, but after enough seasons, I think it starts growing us too, teaching us patience, teaching us to notice, teaching us that not every beautiful day has to be productive. Sometimes it's enough to simply be there, watching the rain, feeling the sunshine, and letting another summer day quietly become a memory. May your garden grow, your heart stay light, and your summer be filled with simple joys. Sending you lots of love. I'll see you next time.